Hello, 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 hello. درست شد. هلو. لینک رو هم میفرستم. کپی. یک دو یک دو یک دو. تست 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 تست. تست تست. Hello, sorry for the technical issue. I don't know why today is like this from early morning. I have had several technical issues, my Gmail account, my YouTube account, and now this platform, OBS. Anyway, it seems I could fix it. So what I want to do is share the link with all the students. So hopefully they can join the class now. So I post the link there, Intro to Finance. Okay. Turn editing on. Actually, we missed half an hour. It's very bad. I'm very sorry about it. So, join now. Technical issue. No more technical issue. 6:30 p.m. Okay, and I just here. Okay, now I have to wait for other students to join. Maybe. Hi guys, I fixed the issue. Sorry about it. You can join the class now. So please use the link that I posted on Times and join the class. I'm waiting for you. We are waiting for, oh, everyone is here so fast. Oh guys, sorry about it. I don't know, this is the first time this happened and I'm very sorry about it. This is life. This is life. Anyway, I post the link there. Join the class. Class now. Okay, let me close the door. It's very funny. This is really funny. Okay, guys, can you hear me? Please confirm that you can hear me. Please confirm that you can hear me. Okay. Okay, very good. I don't know what happened. Since early morning, I have had several technical issues. In the morning, my Gmail account I couldn't log in, and it was something I thought oh, hold on. So I thought I've lost my account. So I panicked. I tried different ways, and then hold on. Let me find you. Yeah. And then 2 hours ago, I just asked one of my colleagues that later I want to mention about her, that I cannot use my YouTube account because I don't have any password, or my account doesn't work anymore. Yeah, it was water issue because it was raining, so I lost the internet connection. So anyway, so I asked her account, then I set up the OBS, the platform I'm using for my streaming, and then I could log into my account after around 10 hours, and then I set up, and many things happened. And I don't know why this happened now, because the issue was, it seems, internet connection, and my internet connection should be fine. Anyway, this is good that I'm here with you, because today actually I wanted to share many important things with you. So yeah, even YouTube servers may shut down. So guys, again, I'm very sorry, apologies. So, but anyway, this is life, it may happen. Hopefully we are here now. I will summarize what I want to share with you today. So hopefully we will finish even earlier. So what I want to do, okay, the first thing is, let me share, maybe the video had problem, the video that I shared with you, right? Because it was raining, so because of the too much water, so it impacted the internet connection. Okay, let's start. So today is about capital budgeting. Capital budgeting means, we already discussed last week that we discussed WACC, or weighted average cost of capital, which is the required rate of return that you need to use to compute the present value of future cash flows in your company. So last week I showed you how to compute the required rate of return, right, using the WACC method, right, WACC model. Now today I want to show you how to choose a project. Suppose you are a company and you have several projects. Now you want to choose the best one. How to choose the best project? This is what I want to share with you. And we will be using the required rate of return that we computed last week in one of the methods, right? So stay tuned. There are a few things I want to share with you. And I'm very happy that now 177 of students came back to the live session. Hope others join soon, because there are a few things I want to share with you. Important. Now, I invite you to watch the first video, and then there are some activities we want to do together. Okay, bye-bye. There are different capital budgeting methods. In this video, I will show you 3 of them: payback, NPV, and IRR. NPV stands for net present value. IRR stands for internal rate of return. So let's start with payback period method. Assume that we have 2 projects, project A and project B. These are the cash flows of these 2 projects. And year 0 means today, at the end of year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4. For example, project A, you start with $100 investment. This is cash outflow, so it's negative. And then your cash inflow at the end after 1 year will be $40. Then after 1 more year, $30, $40, and $50. And for B, you start with $120 investment, initial investment. So it's cash outflow because you invest. And then at the end of year 1, you will have a cash flow of $30. At the end of year 2, you will have $50, then $30, then $85. We assume that interest rate or your required rate of return is 10%, and payoff period is 3 years. So now let's start with payback period method. So this method is very easy, very simple. And we just want to know how long it takes to cover the initial cost when we will reach to the break-even point. So we invest $100, how many years, how long it takes we make $100 to cover the initial cost. And this is payback period method. So it's very simple. So let's start with project A. So for project A, let me write it down here. So we are now working on using payback period method. For project A, at the end of year one, we will make $40. And it's not enough to cover $100 initial investment, right? So we need to continue. We need to go for one more year. At the end of year two, we will make $30. This means at the end of year two, so far, we have made in total 40 plus 30, 70 US dollar. And it's not still enough to cover the $100. So we need to proceed. We need to continue for one more year. Then at the end of year three, you can make $40 and the total is 110. So in year three, we already have covered, we have made $100. So it will take 1 to 2 years and a few months to cover 100, to reach the break-even point, right? So it's 1 year, $40 plus $30 in year two. Then in year three, how much do we need to make? We already have $70 and we need just $30 more from year three to reach to $100. We already have $70, we just need 30 more and then we will reach to 100. So in year three, we don't need the whole 40. We don't need to work for the whole year to reach to the break-even point. We just need to make $30 out of the 40. And this means 2.75 years. So the the payback period for the first project is 2.75 years. Now let's do the same calculation for project B. For project B, the initial investment is $120. Can we cover it? Can we reach to 120 in the first year? No. At the end of year one, we just have made 30 US dollar. Then we will continue. At the end of year two, so far in total, we have made 30 plus 50, 80 US dollar. It's not still enough. We will continue to year three. 30, 50, 30 means $110. Still, we haven't reached to $120. In total, it's 110. We haven't reached to 120 yet. We will continue to year four. And yes, in year four, we will make $85 and we just need $10 more. 30, 50, 30 means 110. We need just $10 more to reach to 120. And so it's 1 plus 1 plus 1. Year 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. And then we just need $10 out of this $85 to reach to the break-even point. And it's 3.12 years. Now the question is, should we accept both projects or only one of them, or maybe none of these projects should be accepted? Let's we need to refer to the payback period. So the payoff period. The payoff period is 3 years. So assume that this company uses a 3-year payoff period. This means that we accept any project that reaches to the break-even point in less than 3 years. So based on this assumption, we only accept project A, right? Not project B, because project B takes more than 3 years, right? So the answer is project A. For these type of questions, you may have, when you have more than one project, the projects can be independent or mutually exclusive. If the projects are independent, then you can have both of them if both meet the criteria. In this example, actually only one of them met the criteria. But now let's assume that payoff period here was 4 years. Means suppose we accept any project that it reached to the break-even point in less than 4 years. Then both projects meet the criteria. Both are less than 4. Now which one you choose? If these two projects are independent, we are allowed to choose both of them, because if both meet the criteria, so in this case, if payoff period is 4 years, both are less than the payoff period, we accept both. But if they are mutually exclusive, means you can choose only one. You cannot go for both of them, right? So for mutually exclusive, you have only one choice. Then, if both of them meet the criteria, in this example, I just said let's assume you accept any project with a payoff period less than 4 years. Then both meet the criteria. Now, which one to choose? If you have to choose one, if they are mutually exclusive, of course, we choose the best one. The best one is A, because you reach to the break-even point faster. Then you choose A. So be careful. Sometimes the projects are independent. Sometimes they are mutually exclusive. If they are independent, as long as the projects meet the criteria, you can choose them. You choose all that meet the criteria. But if they are mutually exclusive, you need to choose the best one that meet the criteria. Let's continue. So, okay, just let me remind you that for payback period, you do the calculation to reach to when you to compute when you will reach to the break-even point, and then the criteria is it must be less than the payoff period. And here we compare it with these 3 years, which was the payoff period. Let's continue with NPV method. For NPV is just net present value, and you already have seen it in the previous topic, how to compute the net present value of future cash flows. So here we have a stream of cash flows. We just discount them to the present time. We use NPV, or net present value, NPV method, or net present value. So NPV of net present value of the first project is minus 100. So the formula I'm using here is just a simple formula. Present value is future value divided by 1 plus R power n, right? So future value is these cash flows, and R is interest rate, N is how many periods you are discounting. You may use your financial calculator as well. If you want to know more about it, watch the videos on the cash flow mode of your financial calculator. So let me write the formula. So minus 100 plus the first cash flow divided by 1. Interest rate here is 10% plus 0.1, and power is 1 because you are discounting it for 1 period. Then plus 30, 1 plus 0.1 means 1.1, and power is 2. Then plus 40, 40, 1.1 power is 3, then 50, 1.5 power is 4. And if you do the calculation, or you may use, as I said, you may use the cash flow mode of your Texas Instrument BA Tool Plus financial calculator. The answer you will get is 25.36 US dollar. So this is the net present value of project A. Then you compute project for project. So this is the, let's write PA, present value of project A, present value of project B will be minus 102 plus 30 over 1.1 power 1. Next cash flow is 50, 1.1 power 2, then next one is 30. 1.1 power 3. The last one is 85, 1.1 power 4. And if you do the calculation, it's 29.19 US dollar. Now, which project to choose? The criteria to accept a project using NPV method is NPV must be positive. So when NPV is positive, means this project adds value to the firm. This means that the return on the project is more than the required rate of return of the firm, of the company. So here both of the projects meet the criteria, right? Both of them are greater than 0. So both are greater than 0. So both are good projects. But now, which one to choose? If these two projects are independent, we choose both of them, because both meet the criteria. But if the assumption is these two projects are mutually exclusive, then you must choose the best one, because you have the chance to you can choose only one project. Now, which one is the best one? The one which has a higher NPV. So we choose project B if they are mutually exclusive, right? This is NPV method. And then you may use IRR, means internal rate of return. For internal rate of return method, my suggestion is using a financial calculator, because it's a bit complicated without a calculator. You need to do some try and error. And the method is very similar to NPV method. The only difference is, actually we write the same formula, so we construct the NPV formula, but when you want to use IRR, you assume you don't have interest rate. Here, we assume the interest rate is 10%, so we put 0.1 in this formula, the R here. But when you want to construct IRR formula, you want to use IRR method, you write the same formula, but you assume you want to compute R, and you assume net present value is 0. So I write the same formula here, so minus 100 plus 40 over 1.11 power 1, then 30, 1.1 power 2 plus 40, 1.1 power 3 plus 50, 1.1 power 4. Then you put, oh my God, you see, I made a mistake. Here, as I said, you need to assume we want to compute interest rate. So it's a bit different, right? So we don't know interest rate. And then we assume it's equals 0. So now we want to compute these R, this interest rate, right? And when you compute, when you do the calculation, you may use the financial calculator, and you get 20 point. So IRR is 20.72%. For the second project, you do the same. So this is for project A, then for project B. Again, you write the same, but you assume we want to compute R based on the assumption that net present value is 0. Minus 120 plus 31 plus R power 1. Then 50, 1 plus R power 2. Then 30, 1 plus R power 3. And 85, 1 plus R power 4. Then equals 0. And if you do the calculation for this one, you will get 19.27%. Now, which project to choose? For IRR method, we accept the projects that the IRR is greater than your required rate of return or your interest rate. So any project that is greater than, that IRR is greater than 10% is good project. And both of them actually meet the criteria because both are greater than 10%. Now, which one to choose? If these two projects are independent projects, means we are allowed to choose all that meet the criteria. And both meet the criteria. So if the two projects, A and B, are independent, we choose both of them. But if they are mutually exclusive, so if the assumption in the question is they are mutually exclusive projects, then we have to choose the best one. And the best one is the one with higher IRR. So we choose A, right? We choose A. So now let's assume the projects are mutually exclusive. If they are mutually exclusive, we need to choose the best one. Then in this case, the best one is A. Here, the best one is B. And here, the best one is A. Oh my God. For 30 minutes, I felt that I'm in a war and just doing my best to fix the issue, not losing the battle. But anyway, we are here, and some of you missed the first video, the introduction video. I went for hiking and I wanted to make the videos in the jungle, the videos for today's topic. And then it was a heavy raining, and I think maybe because of the water today we had some problems. But anyway, for today, there is one more video that I want to share with you. Hold on. Yeah, there's one video that I want to share. Actually, everything you need to know. I mean, there's no new formula, right? The formulas that we are using, you already have seen them. We are, for example, using the present value formula. I mean, the time value of money formula for the NPV and IRR method. And payback method is very simple, just plus minus, right? We want to find the break-even point. So basically, actually, I don't think there is really any new formula. There's one more accounting formula. I do not like accounting, right? I do not like accounting. I have told you every class. So that one later you work in your tutorial class. So these finance, the three methods that I showed you are the most popular finance methods. Now, so the good news is almost there's no new formula, right? As you already noticed. Now, what we want to do is, there's one more video I want to share with you. I already have prepared, which is about more explanation about these methods. And, okay, let me see. And there is an activity. All right, activity means we want to do one more question together, right? So now let me know, use the chat box, let me know whether you want to do the activity now, or first you want to see one more video which is more explanation about these methods. So there is an activity, means we want to do one more question. Option number one. Option number two is there is another video. It's just more explanation, not about calculation. Means the advantages and disadvantages of these methods. And so write in the chat box which one you prefer. Do you prefer to do one more question, or you prefer to watch a video about advantages and disadvantages of the methods? And make sure you have your popcorn. Yeah, enjoy the class. Make sure you have popcorn. So, yeah, definitely I will show you both. I want to see whether you want to watch the second video or you want to do the activity first. So, while you are writing in the chat box, I will... No, popcorn is healthy. This popcorn is healthy. I made it at home. I just corn, I put it inside the pot and done. So this is healthy. Yeah. So in the meantime, maybe I will share a life hack with you. In previous sections, I have shared many life hacks with you, many tricks, many DIY methods or life hacks. Now I want to share some skills with you, how to survive in a jungle when you go for hiking. So while I show you a 30 seconds video, one of the tricks, one of the life hacks for surviving in a jungle, I will read the chat box to see what to do, what you suggest for the next. So watch this video. I want to show you how to survive in a jungle.
The water that comes from the mountain is the best water to drink.
Yeah, the water that comes from the mountain is the best water to drink. But of course not that water. Okay, so what I want to do is, based on your recommendation, based on your suggestions, what I want to do is I will share the link to the activity, but before doing the activity, I will show you the video. So what I want to do is now so there is an activity, everyone, we need to do it today during the class. This is the QR code for today's activity. Just make sure that you just make sure that you use the you are on the page. It's a Google form. You are in the Google form. There are just 2 simple questions we want to answer, but you have time to complete. This is part of today's activity, so you need to complete this activity. It's just 2 simple questions related to today's topic. So use the QR code and join the Google form. Just read the questions. The questions are very similar to what we discussed just now. And in the meantime, while you are just using the link to be connected to the Google, to have access to the Google form, in the meantime, I will show you the next video. The next video, as I mentioned, is about the advantages and disadvantages of these methods. But just something while you are using the QR code to be connected to the Google form. Let me see here. Yeah, hold on. Okay. Just let me again tell you what we mean by independent and mutually exclusive projects. This is because it's important to answer these 2 questions. So for independent projects means if both of them meet the criteria, if both of them are good, you can choose both. So if there are 2 projects available, if both meet the eligibility criteria, you can choose both. If one meets, you can choose the one that meets the eligibility criteria. If none of them, of course, you don't choose any of them. So independent means you can choose all projects that meet the eligibility, meet the criteria, and criteria for payoff method is times to the break-even point is less than the payoff period. For NPV, as long as NPV is positive, you choose the project, right? So this is the eligibility criteria for these 2 methods. For independent projects, you can choose more than one if they are good. For mutually exclusive, you only can choose one. So if both projects, if one project meets the criteria, that's fine. You just choose the one which is good. But if both are good, then you choose just the best one, right? Choose the best one. Let me give you an example. For example, some of you may have several friends, right? Maybe several girlfriends, right? You may have 2, not girlfriends, but girlfriends. Yeah, put a space between them. So you may have 4 or 5 girlfriends, right? Of course, it's not good to have girlfriends, several girlfriends at the same time, but just put space between girl and friends. So you may have 2, 3, 4 girlfriends, right? This means they are independent projects, right? Independent. They are independent. This means as long as they are good, as long as you are fine with them, so you can have more than one, right? You can have more than one friend. But if you want to marry, you should choose the best one, right? And this means mutually exclusive. You cannot marry 2 wives, right? Or you cannot have 2 husbands at the same time, right? So for mutually exclusive, you choose the best one, right? So you may have 5 friends, right? 5 girlfriends or 5 boyfriends. This means they are independent. As long as they are good, it's good. You have fun, you just have several friends. But if you want to marry, you should choose the best one. And this means mutually exclusive. So now I hope everyone could use the QR code and you're already in the Google form. Now I want to show you the second video that I prepared for today's topic. It's just more explanation about the 3 methods that I shared with you. Let's have a look. Later we will discuss there. Don't worry, I will help you to answer the questions in the Google form, right? I want to show you how to do it if you don't know. If you can do it, very good. Very good. Excellent. Okay, let's have a look at the video. Now, what happens if the results of, usually actually the results of NPV and IRR, usually the results are the same, but there are some cases that the results are different. For example, when you have, when the initial investments are different, when the cash flow in year 0, they are different, or when you have, for example, a cash outflow later, then the results may be different for, the results of IRR may be different from NPV method, right? But in other cases, usually they are the same. And what happens when the results of, for example, payback is different from NPV, NPV is different from IRR, and so on? So the best method is NPV. The best method is NPV, right? Payback method is a very weak method, right? So when the results contradicts, you go for NPV, right? So based on NPV, I will go for project B, right? The results of IRR and NPV, usually they are the same, but in some cases like this one, for example, the first cash flow at year, the initial investment are different, or later you have some negative cash flows, the results may be different. So always the best method is NPV. However, because this method is a bit complicated compared with payback period method, many companies use payback period method for many of their projects, especially very large companies when they have so many small projects and they really don't care about about their NPV, and they don't want to spend time to compute the NPV. So they just quickly compute the break-even point and make the decision. So maybe every month they have to decide about 50, 100 very small projects. So they just use quickly payback method and make the decision. However, NPV method is the best one. Why is the best one? I already have explained this in the slides. There are some reasons. One is because payback method doesn't include the risk, and it doesn't include the time value of money concept. And also, payback period method sometimes make mistake by ignoring the future cash, the cash flows that happen in long term, later in the future. Let me give you some examples. Suppose that we are talking about payback period to show you that what are the problems of payback period method. Although many companies use it for making decision these days. Let's look at this company, this project A, and okay. Let's use the payback period method to make the decision about these two projects, A and B. So project A, there is a $40 initial investment. And as you can see, after 1 year, you need 1 year to reach the break-even point. So the payback period for project A is 1. So after 1 year, you will reach to the break-even point. But what about project B? For project B, it takes 30 plus 50 plus 30. It doesn't reach to 500, but in year 4, it will reach to 500. So it will be 3 point something years for project B. So which project will you choose, project A or project B? Based on the payback period method, you will choose project A. Because in 1 year, because the break-even point or the payback period is just 1 year, right? But for project B, it takes 3 years and a few maybe days or months to reach to the break-even point. So you choose A. But now you see the problem, right? Do you see the problem? The problem is, if you go for A, you are missing $1 million in year 4. You are missing $1 million in year 4. Yep. Is one of the problems. But if you use NPV method, no problem. I mean, the answer will be definitely project B. Let me give you another example. Okay, let's compute the payback method for these two projects. You want to reach to $100 in both projects. So 10 plus 30 plus 40 plus 20, it's 100. So for project A, the payback period is 4 years. For project B, also the payback period is 4 years because 20 plus 40, 60, then 90, then 100. So for both of them, the payback period is 4 years. But which one is a better project? Payback period doesn't tell you, right? But actually, if you look at this stream of cash flows, I think you can answer these questions. Because or let me just make it more clearer here, just right. Here is 40. Then 30, then 20. Now let's compare. So both of them reach to 4 years. They need 4 years to reach to the break-even point. But payback period doesn't see any difference between these two projects. But actually, the projects are different because in project B, you are receiving a bigger cash flows earlier, right? 40, 30, 20, 10. Here 10, 30, 40, 20. So which project is better? You already know the concept of time value of money. We prefer to receive the bigger cash flows earlier, right? Because the value of these $40 here will be less when it's discounted to the present time. So if you use the NPV method, it will be included. The concept of time value of money will be included. And definitely it will reach to the answer will be project B based on NPV, but based on payback period, as you can see, there's no difference between them. So this is another problem because it doesn't include the time value of money concept, or it doesn't include the concept of risk into the calculation. So payback method has some limitations. However, because it's very user-friendly, easy to use, many companies these days are using it for making decisions for their small projects. But an NPV is more complicated. And one of the challenges for NPV is you need to compute your interest rate, and this is really time consuming and not really easy. So some companies prefer to just go to payback period method. And what about NPV and IRR? For IRR, the advantage is you don't need to compute. Sometimes you don't need to know the interest rate, your required rate of return, right? Because at the end, you need to compare with your required rate of return to make the decision. You remember here, IRR was 20%, and we said the criteria to accept a project is the IRR should be greater than your required rate of return or your interest rate, which is 10%, right? But we don't start the calculation using the interest rate, the 10% interest rate. So sometimes when you construct the formula, you compute, you do the calculation, then the IRR you compute is big enough, and you know, oh, this is definitely more than my required rate of return, or more than the interest rate we usually use in the company. So I accept the project. So without knowing your interest rate, that you need to do a lot of calculation for it to know them. Here I just said, assume interest rate is 10%, but in the real world, you don't know it, you need to compute. So sometimes the IRR that you get is big, very big. I mean, it's very high. And you know, oh, of course my interest rate cannot, for example, suppose IRR is 40%. You know the interest rate that you demand is not 40%, right? In Malaysia, in the economy of Malaysia. So you say, okay, no need to compute my interest rate to compare. I already know whatever interest I have, definitely it will be less than 40%. So you just accept the project. So the advantage for IRR is, you don't, sometimes when IRR is very big or very small, you don't need to know your exact interest rate, and you accept or reject the project. However, for NPV, you need to know your exact interest rate to insert it into the formula and compute NPV. But anyway, the best method is NPV, because for IRR also, as I said, there are some, sometimes you get different results, and it has its own limitations. And one more advantage for IRR is easy to communicate, it's easy to report the results. For example, you would say to someone who doesn't know really finance, you would say, hey, the interest rate on this project, the IRR interest rate is 20%. And everyone understands what we mean by interest rate is 20%, right? But for NPV, when you say NPV is 25, they may not understand what we mean by NPV, right? So it's easier to report the results or communicate with the other stakeholders by just reporting the interest rate on a project. So these are some of the advantages and disadvantages of these methods. So again, NPV is the best method, and usually the results of NPV and IRR should be the same. However, there are some cases that you can see in the notes that I uploaded. The results may be different, and sometimes IRR gets more than one result, more than one IRR. This is when you use the financial calculator, it just gives you the first one. So you get small IRR, but there may be more than IRR results, because there may be more than one route when you solve the equation. So yep, these were the three commonly used methods for capital budgeting. Okay, so you already know everything that you need to know for today's topic. Now, as I promised, there is an activity. I asked you to use the where is the QR code? QR code, where are you? QR code, yep. So use this QR code to see the questions. There are two simple questions, and I want now to help you answer these two questions. So make sure that you scan the QR code. Even if you miss this, if I switch to another camera, you still can, because using YouTube, you can go back to a few seconds ago and scan the code, right? So now let's have a look at, okay, I want to set up I need to open my file to show you the, hold on. Yeah, I need to open the file to show you how to answer this question. I know it's a bit late, but we already almost finished the topics, but there's just two simple questions we want to answer. So while I'm finding my file, so I just have an advice. I want to share something with you, something that help you to be prepared for the final exam, hopefully. Let's have a look at it. La 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 la.
It starts already.
Yeah. Okay guys, this is our last topic for this semester. practice for the exam, you need to practice a lot. Be comfortable with the financial calculator, with the formulas. Watch the videos I prepared for the lecture and the tutorial videos. So I hope I don't see you again in this subject.
Okay, now I want to share the, where is this? Okay, okay, I think it should be this one. Yep. So, first of all, I just checked. I noticed that many of you, 90 of you, 91 submitted answer to the questions. I can share. Okay, I can maybe show it to you. Okay, so as you can see, 92 have submitted, but now I want to show you the answer, right? You see, so most of you have selected these two, right? If it's mutually exclusive, you said only A. If it's they are independent, you said both A and B. But let's see, and this is for question 2 again. Now now 101. Okay, let's answer this question. Okay, so there are two projects that you should choose. You are in a company, there are two projects offered to your company, and you need to choose the companies. Now, based on the choices provided in the activity in the Google form, so we need to assume first they are independent, and then we need to assume they are mutually exclusive, right? So for payback method, we just need to know when you will reach to the break-even point. When you will reach to the break-even point, we need to compute. So you start with 60,000 ringgit, means initial investment is 60,000 ringgit. Then at the end of first year, you will make 17,000 ringgit. Is it enough to cover the 60,000 ringgit initial? Yep. Hold on. Yep, 60 initial investment? Of course not. After 2 years, at the end of year 2, you will make 23,000 ringgit more. Now, in total, how much you have made year 1 and year 2? Yes, 40,000 ringgit, right? 40,000 ringgit. Is it enough? Not yet. Still not. We have not reached to 60,000. So then 19,000 at the end of year 3. Is it enough? In total, year 1, year 2, year 3, you have made 59,000. Is it enough? No, 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 no. So still we need 1,000 ringgit more to reach to 60,000. So 1 ringgit out of the 100,000. So I would say you need 1, 2, 3, 3 years plus 1 over 100. 1,000 over 100,000, right? Means 0.01. I can show it to you. You see, you even don't need a calculator. You can do it easily, right? So year 1, year 2, year 3, in total 59,000. We just need 1 more thousand to reach to the initial investment, which is 60. So 3 years plus 1,000 of the cash flow in year 4. So 1,000 over 100,000 means 3.01 years. What about here? You do the same calculation, and based on, yeah. So 19,000 plus 24,000 plus 35,000. Oh, again, the same. It means you need 3 years and a bit more to reach to 90,000 ringgit. So in the first 3 years, you make 78,000 ringgit. So how much you need to reach to 90, you need 12,000 ringgit more. So 12,000 of these 55,000 will be used to reach to the break-even point. So it's 3 years and 3.22 years, right? Means 3 years and a few months, right? So now, which one is good? So we already know, we already computed the payback period. Now, based on the information given to you, the payback cutoff, hold on, I want to check whether you can, okay. So, yeah, based on the information here, hold on, yeah. So the payback cutoff is 4 years, means this company accepts, is fine with any project less than 4 years, that you reach the break-even point in less than 4 years. So both of these projects meet the criteria. Both of them will reach to the break-even point in less than 4 years. So both are okay. But if they are independent, this means you can choose both if both meet the criteria, and both meet the criteria. So if they are independent projects, we choose both. But if they are mutually exclusive projects, we choose the best one. Which one is the best one? The first one, because the first one will reach to the break-even point earlier. So if, I need to change this, A, this one B. So if they are independent, both. If it's mutually exclusive, we will go for project A. Now I want to see your answers. Hold on. So if they are independent, you said only B. Oh, sorry, most of you said both A and B. Good. If they are mutually exclusive, you said only A. Good. Congratulations. So around 60% of you could answer this question. And so far we have received 137 submissions. Now let's have a look at the second question. For the second part, I ask you to, maybe I can cut this, put it here, because we don't need it. I already gave you the answer, right? Okay, for the second question, I asked you to compute, if I'm not mistaken, NPV, right? Or maybe not, let me see. Okay, I said if their interest rate is, I forgot even to mention you need to use NPV, but you were smart. You knew that when I give you required rate of return, so you can use NPV. Anyway, some of you may use IRR, but anyway, so let's compute NPV. In the second question, actually, I wanted you to compute NPV. How to compute NPV? NPV means net present value. How to compute present value? We already know this is the beginning of the semester. Beginning of the semester, not for now. It's for the beginning of the semester. This is not a new topic. So if you don't remember it, don't worry. Next semester I will explain again. So be patient. If you don't remember net present value, no worries. Next semester I will explain again with more details, right? So don't worry about it. Now, how to compute net present value? It means, okay, for project A, so it means that, okay, the initial investment means what happened at T0, 60,000 plus minus 6, I mean, it's negative because cash outflow, then plus 17,000 divided by, you see, the cash flow divided by 1 plus R power T. T here is 1 because year 1. Then plus 23,000 divided by 1 plus R power 2, then power 3. So let me show you the answer because I have computed it before the class. Yeah. So as you can see here is the net present value formula. So 60,000 minus is negative, then plus 17,000 divided by 1 plus R. R is 8%. My answer is wrong. Why is 8? Okay, I made a mistake before the class. I used 8%. So anyway, you computed with 10%. I just assume that is, or you want me, I can actually compute it, is no issue, you know. Okay, maybe I need to compute it, right? So I made a mistake. I computed it assuming that it's 8% interest rate. But now no worries, very easy. I show you, maybe it's a good time to show you how to use Excel to compute this. Hold on. Okay. So it's 60,000, then 17,000, then 23,000, then 19,000, then 100K. Okay, these are the cash flows for the first project, then mine 90,000, then 19, then 24, then 35, and the last one is 55. Okay, yeah. Again, I made a mistake. I computed with 8% interest rate, but it should be 10% based on the question. So this is project A, this is project B. Now, this is the denominator. I want to compute the denominator, right? Means this part. So it's power 1 plus 0.1. Oh, hold on. Okay, if you don't know what I'm doing, it's okay, because this is Excel. I don't want to teach you Excel. What I'm doing, you can do it manually or using a normal calculator or using a financial calculator. It just came to my mind, maybe it's better to use Excel. So for those who want to learn Excel, there are so many videos on YouTube you can watch. But what I'm basically doing is just writing a formula to compute the 1 plus R power, and these are the number of periods. And the power is number of periods, B3 means take it from here, and the first one is period is 0. So here then power is, you see, power is 1, then power is 2, then power is 3, power is 4, and then equals, so I divide each of them by the denominator. So these are the present value of these cash flows. This is for project A, so I write present value of cash flow A. Again, guys, this is not, you may use a normal calculator. That's totally fine. I don't know why it came to my mind to, maybe to show off my skills, you know, to show you that I know how to use Excel. But it's good to use Excel. Okay, and now the total. So this is sum. Sum means total. Guys, this is not compulsory to learn Excel for this subject, but for those who are interested. Okay, so these two are the present value of these formulas. So net present value. So this is net present value of project A, and this is net present value for project B, right? So I already computed. So here I need to change this to 1, and this one 1. Again, this was my mistake that I assumed this is 8% interest rate. And the answer is 57,000. 57,000, okay, 39 ringgit, dollar, 0.1. And then for project B, I again computed it. Oh, okay, sorry. This is the way you need to use the financial calculator. This one we will explain later. Here's a video I will post on Times. It's just the instruction. But for project B, also I computed it with 8%, but now I change it to 10%, and the answer is 10,969.2. Okay, so this one it's okay. Yeah. So this is for project A, project B. So both of them net present value is greater than 0. This means both of them are good. And if they are independent, both can be accepted. But if they are mutually exclusive, you only choose the best one. Which one is the best one? The one with the higher net present value, means project A. Fortunately, it seems here the results for NPV and payback method were consistent, but sometimes they are not consistent. If the results of net present value and payback method were different, then you should go for net present value. It's more accurate, right? Because it considers risk, time value of money. We already discussed in the video. So anyway, yeah. So you can. I just noticed that around 200 students submitted their assignment. Please submit it. And okay. Okay. CS1. Okay, about the difference between independent and mutually exclusive. Watch the video again. I explained this in details, but anyway, independent means you can, if all are good, choose all. But mutually exclusive means only choose the best one. But later, please watch the video again. I have explained in details. Now, okay, what is next? Of course, we need to take the attendance, and there is, okay, do you want me to tell you which topics will be in the final exam? If you want, write it in the chat box. Otherwise, I will post it later on times. Yeah, you just remember the girlfriend example about independent and mutually exclusive. So you want to tell you now or maybe post it on times? Let me know. Guys, I have an idea. I want to make some videos later. Okay, it seems everyone, okay, I will share the idea later with you. So let me share some information about the final exam. So in the final exam, okay, good. So in the final exam, there will be 5. Okay, now, seriously, I want to tell you about the exam. Seriously, I want to tell you about the exam. Okay, there will be 5 questions in the final exam, each 20 marks, right? So 1 will be from today's topic, 1 will be from last week topic, means WACC or weighted average cost of capital. 1 will be, maybe I can show you in a, hold on. Maybe I can write down here, right? It's easier to. Can you hear me now? Good. Okay. Yeah, that was a joke. So, it's like this. Okay, so there will be 5 questions. I just want to make sure you start studying for the final exam. So there will be 5 questions, each of them 20 marks. So 1 will be on stock valuation, 1 will be on bond valuation, 1 will be on risk and return, another one on weighted average cost of capital and capital budgeting. So for a stock, I asked you to compute the stock price. So you may need to combine different models, right? for bond valuation, you need to use the financial calculator, and up to you. If you don't want to use the calculator, that's fine, but you need to compute the bond price. For risk and return, again, you may need to ask, you will be asked to compute the risk and return of a portfolio, and WACC is WACC, and capital budgeting is what we discussed today, right? So most of the questions will be calculations. This is the nature of this subject, but there will be some theoretical questions too, but mainly the questions are calculation. So each of them 20 marks, and yep, 100%. So start studying on these topics, focus on these topics. I will give you more information. I mean, not more information, I think this is all I want to share with you. But we will discuss about these topics again later. So let me see if you have any question. Hold on. So, some of you asked me whether there will be like midterm tests. So the midterm test, no, the questions will be, the midterm test, the questions were different from the tutorial questions. The reason was because the nature of the questions, the objective learning outcomes of the midterm test was different, right? So for the final exam, the questions, if you watch the lecture videos and go through the tutorial questions, you should be fine. You should get an A, right? Yeah, I understand you. Some of you said the midterm test was, the questions were different. Guys, this is university, so you should be prepared. You should learn how to apply the concepts you learn in your real life. But for the final exam, it's different from the midterm test, right? The midterm test were most of them MCQ, and the midterm test, most of them were MCQ, and the questions were, as I said, were designed for differently, right? But for the final exam, you just make sure you go through the all lecture videos, and I mean for these 5 topics, and do the tutorial questions. Make sure you understand them. You should be fine, right? There shouldn't be any problem. So, yeah, there is no MCQ, all are calculation or essay format. And for the formula sheet, last week I promised to give you the formula sheet. Let me write it down here. I don't want to forget. So I will provide the formula sheet. So formula sheet. So I will put all formulas, and the formula sheet I will post it on Times 2. So if I forgot, remind me. I will post the same formula sheet that I want to provide in the final exam on time. So before the exam, I mean a few weeks before the exam, you can see the formula sheet, right? And what else? Okay, so I answered all these questions. Now, no, you are not allowed to take photo. I will later share more information about the final exam, how we conduct it, because it's online. You are not allowed to take a photo and post it, right? Don't worry, I will tell you how to do the final exam, how to answer the questions, right? For this semester, I learned a lot from previous semester, so I improved it, right? But still, we need to follow the school's regulations. And the school regulations do not allow you to take a photo and upload, right? Annuity and perpetuity is part of these topics that we discussed, right? For example, for stock valuation, you need to know annuity and perpetuity. I mean, I don't give you a question on annuity, but annuity is part of bond calculation and it's part of stock valuation, right? Okay, now, only these 5 topics, right? Okay, but as I said, for example, because these topics are all related. For example, you need to know how to compute present value using the models that we discussed for stock valuation, right? I mean, you cannot say I don't want to know what's perpetuity or annuity. No, you need it for stock valuation and for bond valuation. Okay. So if I'm not answering your question because I already answered it, you can watch the video later. I didn't say I don't hate anything. I just don't like accounting. That's all. I like finance. I don't like accounting. Okay. Now, what I want to do is for the attendance, I want to share the code with you. But before that, I want to share one more video with you, very short. Um,
Okay guys, hope you enjoyed today's class. So you learned how to use the methods that I showed you to choose the best project, or if they are independent, you may choose more than one project. Anyway, so I use you different methods. You need to practice, and I will see you next week.
Wei Chen, I already answered. So if I'm not answering the question, this means I already answered. You can watch the video. Yes, there will be theory questions, but most of the questions are calculation. Okay, now I want to share the QR code. Okay, so next week I have not decided how I will conduct next week class. I'm not sure. Maybe it will be live, maybe not live. I will update you about it because we already finished all topics, but I still need to give you some more information about the 5 topics that I shared with you, just a bit, right? A bit. So later I may see you again, but we already finished all topics. So guys, before I end today's session and share the the CAMS code with you, I just wanted to thank you for this semester. It was a very good experience. During MCO, I know everyone had problems, had very boring staying at home for a long time, and you couldn't go to the campus, you couldn't meet your friends. So I totally understand. So everyone had the same problem. Hope next year will be a better year for everyone. I hope you enjoyed this class. I did my best, but there is one more thing I want to share with you. The videos that I made, all videos that I made, I didn't do them alone, right? So I had a colleague, Dr. Nawaz. She helped me a lot. So she she helped me with developing the ideas. She helped me with the she was a camera woman. She was sometimes the helped me with editing. So I just wanted to thank her. Maybe you don't know her, but okay, let me share with you who is this person, this nice person. Yeah. So I want to share who is the colleague who helped me to make finance fun. Right? She's teaching economics, and I mean, she's in the econ cluster. Finance, okay. This is Dr. Nawaz. Yeah, so she helped me a lot. So yeah, if you know her, please say my regards to pass my regards to her. And this is her email address. Good if you send a thank note to her. She really spent a lot of times, and she was not teaching this module. So she was not teaching. She just wanted to help us to prepare good material for this class. It was a voluntary job for her. I appreciate what she did. Okay, let's go back here. Now, okay, what I want to do is I want to share the QR code, not QR, I mean the CAMS code. Where is it? Here. Okay, so are you ready for the CAMS code? So I share it here. Face display. Already, the code is DAY W 8, and what is the last? Okay, there is one more. DAY W 8 and What is the last one? DAYW8 Some of you tried and you got the good. Some of you did try and error. Okay, it's C. Oh, interesting. Fang Pian, Jackie, Fong. Oh my God. Using try and error, you found what is the code. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, anyway. So yeah, this is the CAMS code. Please key in the CAMS code. And yeah, okay, I'm just reading your comments. Okay guys, I hope everyone passed this subject with a very high mark. There's no more topic to discuss, but we may have one more session. I will update you later. Yeah, we may have one more session. Take care and have a good evening. Bye bye. 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 What I can do here is, where is it? Final line. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh guys, yep. I forgot I had prepared one more video. I forgot to share with you. Anyway, it was okay. Yeah, that's one of those funny videos. So finance. Yep. So yeah, I will miss you too. Yep, you're welcome. My pleasure. Is this name?